In today's video, I'm going to be sharing how somebody always has a bigger boat. I'm at a marketing conference right now in Dallas, specifically for AI and low ticket, and I'm going to be sharing some of the most interesting things I've learned in the first day, like no-face AI launches that are doing 2.5 million in a week, 4x ROAS from low ticket before it even touches high ticket, people that are doing 8-figure months in info that you've never even heard of, gazelles, and boring businesses. All right. Last year, we did 30 million in cash collected. In total, we've done 70 million. Now it's 72 million in this business, and I'm not selling you anything. Everything on the channel is to share what did work, what didn't work, and what we're actively doing to scale to 100 million, all with the goal of finding top talent, opportunities, and networking with cool people doing the same. So let's get into it. So this video is going to be a bit different. I'm in the final hour here. I've been nonstop at this event. But AI low ticket. So on day one is Onyx Singal's event, and I'm going to do my best to not divulge anything that is paid for or not specific. But what Onyx basically talked about today and what the whole event about is very funny because if you go back through the videos on the channel, it's very similar, and I picked up a ton of stuff that I learned today, but very similar to what we are modeling ours off of. So the entire model is essentially using low ticket ascension. So acquisition, liquidating a portion, the number they target is 0.5% liquidation. So you're selling something for $50, it costs you $100, you're liquidating 50, right? So you're getting a 0.5 ROAS there, and then pushing them through different products. And then on the back end, though, very important is having something that is recurring, like a forever mastermind style thing, a community, something that continues to run the engine and keeping that recurring number building up until it basically covers the entire cost of the business. So for us, for a long time, if you see any of the other videos on the channel, we did not operate in this way. While we do sell a recurring high ticket thing, we don't have any back end offers, and that's actually something we're working on right now that launches in like 2 days. And I have this tomorrow here, but tomorrow is the first, so I'll be doing a full month in review of April, so tomorrow's video will be good on that. So yeah, Anik talked a ton about a bunch of stuff. Super smart guy. They've done 40, 50 million a year. They've done big numbers, and I think he's done 200 or something that in total of info and coaching. So he crushes, and obviously is involved in 92 different things. So really cool to hear and learn from him. Sales. Some of the crazy stuff I took away today was sales agencies that are in this space. I didn't really understand that they will work on like a percentage flat retainer. Like if we would have heard about this 2 years ago, we would have done this. The sales agencies, when we had hired them, were always operating as basically like 1099 sales managers that would get like a percentage kind of, and basically like a base and percentage. These guys now run as like full agencies where they'll take 20% and they'll just full run your entire sales team. So it's like you're selling $1,000 unit, they're taking 20% of that, they're paying the sales reps, they're paying they're handling all of that, CRM pieces, like everything, which is actually like very attractive. Because if I look at our model, we should be running it less, but like sometimes when how comp models are and like how we have it structured with bonus pools and now with W2 and all these other things, like 20% can happen on a certain pay period. So it's very interesting because we should be, it's just like a benchmark. So I learned a ton from these guys and like met so many connections. And the general gist of this, and someone always has a bigger boat, is like I go to talk to people and I try always to, like, as best I can, like to just not have the ego, to not be the, oh yeah, we did like, X amount of millions or this or that. There are people who doing so much bigger, so much larger numbers that you've never even heard of, that I've never even heard of, that like are just so quiet and do 9 figures a year, like literally, that are doing mid 8-figure month, like just big numbers that are very quiet. And some of them are just launches, in all fairness, not like full businesses. They're just offers that pump these huge numbers, but like still, and their margins are big. So this is not to be like, oh, they just pump some vanity number. It's like they're taking home 25, 30, 40% of these, which is just insanity. So I learned a lot from these sales guys, and we're still on the hunt right now to hire. We have a couple that are in the pipeline. I'll go into that more in the month in review. Low ticket ascension was basically the entire target of this today. So like 2 or 3 of the main talks were about this, that were specifically basically ways to transition them from low ticket to high ticket for sales, how to do it in the structuring of the offer. I'm forgetting the name of the guy that came up there today, but he absolutely crushed it. I used to funnel hack his stuff 6 years ago. He's like the #1 affiliate, like on all these projects, Brian, I believe. And he is just like, they have an agency that specifically does this. It's just like there are people that crush and have been doing this so long and have been doing this so much better and keep like a lot of profits, which is like the big thing that I keep looking at is like when we scaled from 10 to 30, like everything broke and margin took a dive. Like profit was there for sure, but not at the level we didn't keep the 30% margin game when we scaled, which is a bummer. So that's like something we're working on for this next wave of scale. And then Eddie, just special shout out, he just knows everyone. Like I've been going to dinners and after things, and it's 10:45 right now, and like we're just always doing something with like real heavy hitters and cool people that are just like quality people. And he always puts that together. So he was the last talk today. They have an agency, Bad Marketing, that just they do everybody, and they have run everybody. Even if they don't still today, they did at one point, and like he just crushes. So that was a special shout out. But most interesting, this is the fun part. No Face AI 2.5 launch. I don't want to like divulge again like other people's info, but there's people there that I'm sitting across the table from that are just like spun up an offer. If my video is skipping, it's because you don't subscribe. That spun up offer and launched it completely, no community, no nothing, like an actual just course product deliverable, and cranked it and did like 2.5 million cash, just like boom, with really aggressive margins, let's just say. I heard someone talking about how they did 4x ROAS just on their low ticket at like a pretty low price, not like some like multi-$100 thing, that then also has a similar ascension rate to what we do for high ticket, which means it's literally like there's no cost to acquire the high ticket. So there's no advertising cost on the acquisition portion of a high ticket. So it's just a sales rep, and then fulfillment. And even on this model, it was one to many, so it's low fulfillment costs on it. So it's like they're printing cash on how they're like on their gross margin. Software multiples, I heard multiple people talk, and I actually will jump down there too to exits everywhere. The software multiples that I'm hearing that people, I just don't know that game very well. So like for exits is what I mean by that. So the multiples that people are expecting and have gotten, and people in the space that they're getting, it's just something that like I don't understand and I've never built. Like I'm technical, but not that technical in that way. So it's just crazy to see like the numbers that people are getting offered or have been taking for their software companies. I briefly mentioned this, but info 8-figure months, there are people doing size like mid tens and upwards in info that like you literally don't even know about, that are in like these weird sub niches that just crush. And like it's kind of info, it's like info coaching, and then some of them have like physical stuff, but like it's just insanity. It's like it's just, the market is so massive, and it's just such a like frame shift when I'm over here like, oh yeah, we did 1.6, we did 30. It's like these guys will do that in 2 or 3 months, like, or if that, or like, you know, earlier. So just crazy. Gazelle, this one's funny. There's a guy that's here that's in Dubai that has a gazelle. He has a zoo in his house, and I think it's hilarious. And my new life goal is to have a gazelle because it's just fucking hilarious to me. Exits everywhere. Multiple people have been talking about exits and how they have been taking them anywhere from high 6 figures, just kind of like just to get rid of the business and just call it a day, to guys I talked to this morning that were doing 5, 8. Someone did over a $10 million exit, and all of them, which was interesting to me, were not info and coaching. So it was, I don't want to like say specific, but it was like pieces and parts of their marketing companies, a lot of them. So like an agency style stuff where it was service work, where they had contracts and they had things like that, which was very interesting. You don't really hear about a lot of info coaching, and even when you do, there's a couple that have sold that are like notable that people know about. And even if you dig behind those, some of the conversations today are about how it's not really around the info and coaching portion. It's around like a recurring part that exists in the business, or it's around some like IP specific part, or it's about some like data play. Almost never is it actually the coaching and info portion, which is very interesting. So it's like, as we begin and continue to build this, it's like, where are we optimizing for when we're doing that? Obviously, like I've dug into this in other videos, but it's like you need to remove founder risk. You need to make sure that there is a lot, like you have to really decrease the risk and really make sure that's like automated in a machine. And for us, we're doing that in terms of like the founder risk, in terms of like too much focus or places we're stuck when it comes to fulfillment as well as marketing. And then making sure everything's structurally sound, and obviously in terms of like accounting, finance, like operations, in that way, everyone's W-2, like checking the boxes, that. But interesting to hear that almost everyone is not selling the info and coaching part, which we've kind of like known forever, but optimizing for MRR, both in physical and community base, optimizing for high ticket and low ticket MRR. So there's different pockets of like where your percentage of your revenue comes from, and then optimizing for multiple acquisition sources, both in like literal traffic sources as well as methods. So like different low tickets, different VSL, different angles, different brand faces, so that there's a hedge there. Is going to continue to be more important to make sure that it is an exitable, sexy business in that way. And then boring businesses, tax right onto that. So many people are talking about how these skills in this industry, if you applied even like 10% of them to a business that's like, people call them boring businesses, but home services, landscape, snow, roofing, flooring, cleaning, like these different businesses, the ability to then be able to sell them, because they're already, those are companies that people already buy. Those are companies that roll up. Those are companies that have like consistency and structure around them and have like real to them versus just like an online business. But when you layer on the online portion, you can move quick. And when you layer on other skills in terms of like leadership and operations and hiring and things that you can do with like a digital flair to them, it's pretty crazy. So sorry for the brain dump of the video today. Tomorrow's will be good. I will be getting up early and going through month in review because I'll have all my numbers and pulled everything together. But then, yeah, so general update, we are hiring for the sales manager. That's the current bottleneck. Days are up and down, left and right. Today's like 80 something. Yesterday was like 50 something, I think. Let me check for you real quick. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yesterday was 50. Today is 60 on pace right now. So just down, but all the volume is still there. So it's literally closes. It's like we have people at a conference, so like they're not closing. We have this, that we have that. It's like, it's just not good. So it's all around the closing portion of it right now. Sets are crushing, or the sets, like the actual volume of them, but they're not backing out. And then you can't feel the marketing. So we're just sitting in this loop. And then we are launching the back end stuff. So we're coming up with naming conventions. But I'll talk a lot more about this in tomorrow's video. So sorry for the rough one. Daily update doc is here, where you can find all the videos categorized, all of that, as well as the main idea and the date they were posted. I believe today is day 48 or 49, and it was a shit one. So I am sorry, but gotta do what we gotta do. And it's 10:53, which I'm pretty sure is 11:53 in Eastern. So I'm making it with 7 minutes in spare for the day. So appreciate you guys. Sorry for not being active on things and providing the value. I wish I could provide more, but my brain is fried. So talk soon.